All right, let's get this going. Check 1, 2. Let me check this audio real quick. Somebody's saying the audio was a little low yesterday, so I'm gonna boost that up a little bit. Turn down the music bed. Turn this up just a smidge. All right, let me check the audio real quick. All right, sorry about that. I was just messing with the audio levels a little bit. Let me know if the audio is too low, if my voice is too loud, or the music's not loud enough. Now it's showing my voice clipping in the red, so hopefully it's not too loud. Of course, there's a music break right now. What's going on here? All right, well, we'll see what happens. Anyway, today I'm going to be working on the bass a little bit. I've only got a couple hours to throw at it today, at least till this afternoon or until tonight. So I've got a couple hours to kill right now. So I'm going to prime the sentinel hand parts of the bass. I can't tell what's going on here. I think that's supposed to be all fluid, so I'm going to leave that alone. All energy. There's a couple little spots down in here. And I think I'm going to have to go in here with the airbrush just really, really tightly and get in here with the purple, the pearlized purple. Because I want there to be a little bit of drift down here in between like the ink parts or the energy parts and then the actual purple part. So as long as I can keep it kind of concentrated and directed, I think it'll be fine. It's a little tight though, so see what happens. I also noticed that there are some supports still in the very, very bottom that I need to deal with first, because now that I have ink on everything, I can actually see what's going on. The hardest part is like how to handle this big ass chunk of resin here without dropping it or accidentally just breaking off pieces. Yeah, so I know I saw some supports. There it is. Supports that needed removal down here in the bottom. Yeah, see, it's like especially the stuff on the front here. I don't know where I can put my finger and hold it so that I don't accidentally snap off pieces. My light down lower. Audio's good. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate that. I mean, I know it's going to dip in and out sometimes, but, you know, just trying to keep all the internet denizens happy. I'm still refining my video setup. You know, I haven't been streaming. I haven't been making videos for that long. So I'm working on it. Figure it's part of the learning process, right? Hey, what's up? How you doing, Miguel? There's a little support in here. Oh, there it goes. Okay, I got it. I can't quite get to it. Oh, I'm very excited. My my new airbrush has shipped. It'll be here on Monday. I figured they had distribution here, you know, a distribution center here in the States, but they don't. Like, it's actually coming from Germany. So that's pretty exciting. That also means it's going to take a minute. Maybe I should wait. I need my extra light. No sound. What do you mean, no sound? Do you not hear the? Do you not hear the music? I mean, I know it's pretty low. I did turn the music down pretty low. Oh yeah, this support here. That I just straight up missed. The cool thing is that the ink kind of fills it right in, so you can't even really, after you get these supports out, you can't really tell where they were. Think got everything out. I'm gonna go blast this with the airbrush. I'll be right back. just wanted to get rid of any loose bits. All right, I'm gonna check the sound. Yep, you got me paranoid, Miguel. I'm turning up the music bed quite a bit, so it's about halfway in the green. So now it should be coming through a little better now. Let me check it. All right, we're good. Okay, so got all those bits out of the way. Now I'm wondering if I'm gonna be laying down this purple here. If the varnish coat is enough. No, I didn't really varnish over those spots specifically, so they're probably not covered. I'm gonna prime. I gotta brush prime it. And I can't decide for the cards if I want to use if I want to go with dark playing cards or the regular like white playing cards. The black ones look kind of sick, I'm not gonna lie. But also then like if I do black with gold, I'll need to do the drum in like a silver and then black insets. That could be all right. Hey Miguel, I just checked the stream on my end and the sound was good. So I don't know. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so yeah, I don't know. That's weird. So yeah, I don't know. Black, and then in the fire or in the here, I'm trying to imagine if these are black with gold, how that's gonna look. It might be too much black. Maybe I go with white. I think I'm gonna go with white. I'm gonna go with the regular plain cards. Then I'll add a little bit of ink. I'll add a little bit of glow to each card. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the plan. What else do I? I'm trying to see if I had any other square brushes. Actually, I guess for the edge detail, I probably should use a square brush. Probably for big coverage. So sharp number 2 will work. Got a little bit of a curve to it. Okay. Brand new brush. Alright, just going to go in here and brush on some of this surface primer. Kind of not clean this out a little bit. Well, I want to get a bunch of junk on me where I'm cross-contaminating it. Alright, so let's warm up on a less conspicuous spot. Still trying to figure out where I can hold this back. Oh no, see, I did exactly what I didn't want to do. Good news is, if I get to it quickly, it comes off pretty easily. So, those are not helpful. Let's keep a Q-tip handy for these little nooks and crannies. Alright. Woo! Told you, I need to warm up. The good thing about this primer is that it stays liquid for a while, so it's easy to wipe off the protected surfaces. And it flattens out pretty good, so you don't have to worry about it like flooding areas or being chunky. So I like about this Vallejo primer, it really just levels out nicely when it's dry. So I may wait until my new airbrush gets in here so that I can have a little more precision for airbrushing the purple into this space. So yeah, I may wait on this. Primer is going to take a little while to dry anyway. This primer layer, since I'm painting it on kind of thick, it's I'm going to need to probably at least give this overnight to dry anyway, so Might as well just wait until Monday. Got plenty of other stuff. Plenty of other stuff to paint. I also think I want to do a little bit of a test today. Test spoon. For his torso colors. That looks okay. Like that's passable. Once I hit it with some wash, once I spray some wash into the shadows, I think that will work. But I want to try one other thing. I want to test out my chromes again, or at least find my old tester spoons with the chrome on it. I'll probably make some new ones because I want to try something. So I want to test out some of the different chromes that I have, the different metals, see how they look, and then also I want to try hitting them with some of that ink, the same ink that I used here. I think if I use it there with a shiny metallic undertone, like base layer, whatever chrome I decide to go on the legs and the rest of it, I think it'll look really, really good. So I may end up blacking that whole thing out one more time, chroming it, and then hitting it with tint, like hitting it with ink. I think that's probably what I'm gonna end up doing. But I want to run some tests today, because I want to use the same chrome everywhere, so I need to test that first. I want to do the leg, like for the legs and everything, the leg pieces, this whole torso. But yeah, definitely want to run a couple tests after I get done with this. And like I said, this is going to need a little bit of time to dry. But in my brain, I think that'll give me the effect. I think that'll give me the effect that I want. Because, like I said, the colors are right, or at least close. They're just not. I want his whole suit is very, very. His whole like underlying suit is very glossy, and that part is supposed to be metallic. So I want it to be more of a metallic look. That's passable. Like if I gloss that right now, it would be passable as metal or metallic, but having the little sparkly flecks in it, from like stainless steel kind of or not stainless steel, from a shiny silver sort of underlay or base coat. I needs those little sparkling bits, I think. Really sell the effect. Alright, I need to speed this up now. Trying to get around the little detail bits, and then I'll go back in with a bigger brush. How did I learn to mix my colors to be so? I actually try to not mix colors. I try to use them straight out of the bottles in case I need to go back and patch stuff up. I don't really mix a lot of custom colors, unless you're just talking about like deriving a color palette for the things. Because that I don't really put I guess I do put a lot of thought into it. So I like the continuity of things. What is going on down here? I need to just focus on one area. I'm bouncing around. There's a lot happening on this base there, geez. It's very complicated. A lot of geometry. There's another support. What's up, Jeffro? I didn't know we were going to see these, but I'll know they're there. Right? Mr. Miyagi would be very, very disappointed. Trying very, very, very carefully to not put pressure on anything that is going to be breakable, which is proving to be very, very difficult. Ow! This thing's pointy too. Ow! Son of a mother biscuit. All right. I gotta figure out a better way to do this because this is not a secure way to hold. Also has a bunch of like just undercuts and stuff. I'm surprised this thing printed as well as it printed, because there's a lot of unsupported geometry in here. It should have failed in a lot more places than it did. There's still a couple points of failure. I mean, I can see them. You guys can't see them because it's mixed in with all the chaos, but a couple of little swirls are a little flat on the bottom. What resin printer do you use? I use a M3, Anycubic M3 Premium, and it's a really good printer. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's like it's been working great from day one. I mean, like out of the box, like it just, once I got it calibrated and got the timing, you know, the print timing worked out, like it's just been a workhorse. It's great. And I really like it that I use a plant-based eco resin, also from Anycubic. I'm just an Anycubic guy. I use their stuff. The plant-based resin and the clear resin both have the same cure time, so I don't have to make any like adjustments. Like I don't have to make any setting changes or timing changes. Like they both cure the exact same time. So it's really, really nice. It's been a great, very dependable machine. The M3 Premium, it'll hold like, feels like probably 2 bottles of like 2 liters of resin. So it's like it's got a really, really nice big vat, so you don't have to worry about like running out of resin in the middle of a print. Just load up a whole bottle and walk away. I started with any cubic 4K, any cubic mono 4K, a little tiny, teeny tiny printer. Not teeny tiny, but it was about the size of a shoebox. Like it was tiny, but man, it was a really good like training printer. You know, like starting off, getting into the basics of it. Just under trying to using it to understand like what the FEP is and how to change it and just the principles of 3D printing. It was a really great learner thing, and just kind of gave me just made me really excited to move on to something bigger so I could print bigger, better stuff. And then I got a Mono X. It's like a medium sized printer, I would consider it. I had like I said, a bunch of mods and stuff put on. I made for like I tried to customize the Mono X. Like I added a heater, like a DIY enclosure heater, because I thought that would help the prints. It turns out there was some Z index issues, like there's Z rod issues, and I probably could have fixed it, but instead I used it print a commission piece, and then I used the money from that commission to buy my M3, my M3 Premium, and I've loved it ever since. Oh, hey, what's up? Yeah, I understand. Save your favorite for when after you've built up a little bit of experience. I totally get that. I feel that way. I probably rushed doing my the Avengers series. Like I know I made Captain America's skin tone way too pale, and I still had a lot of mistakes. Stuff that I have since learned from. One day in the future, I may go and like do a reprint of some of my early pieces. Is there a deep learning curve? I mean, yes and no. I mean, it depends on where you're coming from and your, painting abilities and painting knowledge. Or you're talking about like 3D printing. 3D printing. I mean, yeah, there's a pretty significant, if you've never done it before, there's a lot to learn, but there are tons and tons of really good videos of people teach you how to do stuff. I mean, that's how I learned. What works and what doesn't work, and just have to understand that like everybody's little variations, little variables in their lives and their setups, they're all going to make everything be a little bit different. So you just kind of have to feel it out and find what works best for you. But I would definitely recommend just starting with a small machine. If you've never 3D printed anything, start with something small, because it is a little intimidating. You're messing with chemicals, and like you got to get used to handling it. So starting with something small makes it feel a little more manageable. But once you get good at it and feel comfortable with it, you'll want to upgrade pretty quick. Definitely, I would not recommend doing like one of the big boys, because getting the larger printer calibrated, I think takes a little more effort than the smaller one. Something about like the surface area of the print, it affects the suction force and how much give the FEP has, you know, before it pulls. There are definitely like physics changes as you get, same principles, but the actual application varies. So I found that it was easier to calibrate a smaller one, smaller printer with more consistency. And like I said, yeah, that kind of helped me learn about or how to work with the larger printers. And also just keeping in mind, sometimes it's not you. Sometimes you do really just get a faulty printer, and you know, you have to, once you've eliminated all the variables and you feel like you've done everything right, then sometimes it's just a bad printer. Like I said, my Mono X was making me doubt my abilities for a long time. For months, I tried, months. And then finally, I was like, I figured out that it wasn't a me thing. It was the machine. The Z rod that they used on the X10 was too small, and so it just had a lot of wobble. And that was causing a bunch of layer shifts and stuff, and it was driving me crazy. But now with the M3, it's got like a really thick Z rod that doesn't move. It's really solid and just well supported, and it makes a huge difference. I have this, I know you guys can't see what I'm doing. I have this one little work hole that I have to kind of go through. Oh, okay, you're coming from FDM. All right, it is significant. I started with an FDM printer. And honestly, I really just hated the whole process of FDM. I think I only had it for like 3 months, and then I'm pretty sure I just gave it away just to get it out of my house because I hated it. All the post processing and everything. You couldn't get the same, you know, all the lines and layer lines and stuff drive me nuts. So anyway, yeah, whenever I made the jump to resin, totally night and day difference. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's the thing. Is like all you. That was the biggest thing for me too. Or like when I was starting off, like as a beginner in resin, I felt like I was like just wasting. You know, like I was just messing up so bad. I was just wasting all these resources. You're not. I mean, it's just plastic. At the end of the day, you know, especially once you start seeing how much like how many support material you have to print just to trash. I've got a bin of uncured supports that I about once a month I take out and throw it in the sun, cure them, and then throw them away. Um, but yeah, once you start seeing how much garbage you have to make with it, that's and that's again that goes back to that learning curve too. I know that there are you know, some people that try to print with like minimum supports, you know, both for the quality of the print and, you know, for the amount of material that gets produced. Me, I would rather over support something and have a print be successful. So I probably over support my stuff. But again, that comes down to like personal preference. I would rather pick through a bunch of, you know, removing a whole bunch of supports at the end of the process than have a bunch of print failures. But honestly, like once you start resin printing, you're not going to want to do anything else. It's really nice, like just the detail that you can get out of a resin printer. First time you pull a really good print, it's so satisfying. Yeah, I'm gonna wait until. Is that another support? It is. Yeah, I'm gonna wait until my new airbrush arrives to do the detail work to spray down in these little areas here because I'm gonna have much more control than what I have with my current airbrush. Cutting this down and not up. Flinging pieces everywhere. Nobody's gonna see that. Nobody in a bajillion years. But yeah, this is like I said, once you get into resin printing, man, that's total game changer. If I was doing a bunch of like cosplay stuff or like life-size helmets, FDM's the way to go for that. You wouldn't want to try to print something that big, in a resin printer. You can, you have to break it into small parts. But nowadays, resin printers are really big. Like you can get really gigantic ones now, which is kind of cool. If I had the room for it. Oh, more. That is one drawback to printing on clear or printing clear resin. Can't see shit until you get some paint on it. Do I have crazy? No, hey, no. I love the questions, man. Thanks for asking. This is good stuff. No, the so for ventilation, what I did was I got an IKEA cabinet, like an IKEA closet cabinet, and I cut a hole in the top, like a 4-inch hole, and I got one of those they use for grow tents. You can see them on Amazon. Get a grow tent exhaust system. It comes with like an exhaust fan thing. Usually comes with all your tubing, and it'll come with a window, like it'll come with like a little window vent, so you can vent it to the outside through a window. They're not expensive. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess they range. You can get an expensive one if you want. I did want one with some timing, like a little built-in timer, so I can adjust the time, so it's not constantly on and running. But yeah, so basically, I just put my resin printers inside of that IKEA cabinet. I ran the ventilation, the grow tent ventilation thing right outside, and it's good to go. Ventilation is important. Yeah, that's one of those things. As a beginner, like don't fuck around with that. I've got charcoal. I've got the charcoal VOC filters in the resin cabinet, as well as just one inside my studio, like a bigger one. You just have to make sure that it has like the micro virgin charcoal or whatever, so that it will filter VOCs out of the air. That's important as a beginner. Bit of definitely worth it, looking into it. When I first started, I didn't really take that ventilation stuff seriously, and I never got headaches or never gotten. I mean, the smell was never really bothered me or anything like that. But I did start reading some horror stories about people that eventually developed basically an allergy to the resin, and I don't want that to happen. So proper PPE? Definitely take that into consideration. You're going to go through a lot of rubber gloves. You're going to go through they're just a lot of like consumables in this hobby. So be aware of that. And then yeah, I would suggest to you just like try several different resin brands. You know, try just like buy like what I did was when I first started, I bought one bottle of the major brands, at least within the price point that I was comfortable with, like um, and tried them all out, see what I liked, what I didn't like. Some of them it just came to I didn't like their packaging and how expensive it was. Some of it was the cure times were too long, or the resin was brittle. When it got done, there's just a whole bunch of like little things that like through experience you kind of figure out what's the best kind of printing or what the best kind of setup is for your particular print setup. For me, I wanted to keep it kind of simple. That's why, like I said, I stuck with kind of the Anycubic stuff because I'm happy with their things. I like the plant-based resin. I know it's probably just a psychosomatic thing or whatever, where you call it, where you convince yourself of something. But I've convinced myself that it's not as toxic. I'm sure it still is. It feels better to say that I use plant-based resin. And yeah, like I said, I lucked out that the clear resin for me prints at the same settings as my regular gray. All I gotta do is clean out the vat, swap in the resin, and it's good to go. No extra mess. We're dealing with a bunch of different export settings. Oh, actually, I got a question for you guys because it's come up a couple times. In my next video, not this one obviously, but in my next project, would you guys want to see like how I do my supports, like how I like this some software teaching, I guess? I had that come up a couple times. It's not a particularly exciting thing to show, but I mean, in the spirit of learning, I've been noodling on it. And so what I think I want to do is basically like forego some pre-production footage, to save on time, and then show some of the how I support things, how I support models. You guys would be interested in it. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. Come on. I promise this is going to go faster as soon as I get out from around all this detail. This primer does not want to flow nicely either on a brush. Well, I may have to go back and do another coat. I can't get down in between his fingers. Get down in there this way. Excuse me. Sorry, that was loud. I'm loading up my brush too much. Plus, I think it just needs to be a bit longer. Yeah, try as I might, I don't think I could even get down in there. Let's get longer. Something a little bigger, a little longer. That's what she said. Oh, come here. Will you work? You will work. I'm gonna have to be very, very careful though. Ow. Fucking little fire bits. I'm just gonna have to jab around down in there because I can't see and I can't reach. We're just gonna poke around until hopefully it all gets done. Boop boop boop, boop boop boop. Flopping that paint around in there. The old fastball special. Alright, starting to get a little more comfortable maneuvering this thing around. I'm doing it again, I'm bouncing around. Oh, I hate doing this like this. I'll let some of this dry and come back. I'm just moving it around. Just moving it around now. I gotta let that dry. This is definitely one of those, like, I should not be doing this. I should not be painting like this. It feels unnatural, but I don't have a choice. You're not supposed to push down into the, supposed to be pushing paint around. But because of these angles, I don't have any choice. Trying trying to get good coverage in here is basically impossible. This is really annoying. If I mess up in here, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just moving it around. It looks terrible, but flatten out. Alright. Well, let's keep going with the detail work and then I'll come back with the other stuff. That's all metal too. I don't need to avoid that. My goodness. Be great to print in multiple colors. Yeah. I've seen people mix resin colors. You can change out the color while it's printing, but I mean, it's just like it would be like tie-dye, you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna blend. Like you can't. Resin printing is more akin to like silk screening, layer by layer. Oh, come on. Going on there, but I'm trying too hard. I don't want to paint the fingertips yet because I'm still kind of dependent. Ooh, still kind of dependent on them to help me move this thing around. I rotate it so I can get this finger. Which way my hook is bent. Having a hook on the end of your brush isn't always a bad thing. Oh, maneuvering in and out of this thing is very nerve-wracking. It's like playing what was that game with the little dude on the operation? That was the name of it. I was gonna say the little dude on the operating table, where you have to like get in there and do stuff without touching the sides. Pretty much what's happening right now. Ugh. All right, I think I got it. Woo. Buzz. Yeah, that's what it feels like. If you see me reach for the Q-tip, that's the buzz. Water in this brush now. Run. Some of this I'm just gonna. Oh God! Guarantee you, my gloves are full of holes right now. It's hard to tell how much of this is metal and how much of this is like energy and battle damage. There's a whole lot going on in here. This may be the entirety of this stream. This has taken way longer than I anticipated. I'm not even close to done. taken me a few projects with clear resin to really get comfortable using it. The first time I used it was terrible. I will rightfully admit that. It was the flash statue that I did, and I didn't know that there was a difference between alcohol ink and resin tinting. Like there's actually resin tinting color out there that you can mix in with your clear resin to do stuff, but it doesn't give you the same effect as ink. Ink holds onto the transparency. The tint just straight up tints it. So, I mean, if you're wanting like a custom color resin for whatever reason, that's the way to go for that. But yeah, the first time I did this, the first time I printed clear and tried to give it color, it was not very successful. So I think the very first thing that I used like the alcohol ink on transparency was the shield or Deadpool and Cable. Cable's like little energy shield, and I was happy with how that turned out. And then I did the wind things on that what was his name? That Monkey D. Luffy statue, that One Piece statue. Yeah, so and then the Green Lantern, those clear pieces turned out really good. Happy with those. This actually, and now here I am. This is it. So I feel like after a few passes, or after a few projects, kind of learned how to deal with it. I learned how to work with it, I should say. How to keep it clear, like how to keep it transparent with that coat of clear resin during the post process. That was a good tip. That was a good thing I learned. I have to come back and touch up a lot of this. It's all just too wet. Like once you start piling it in, it just kind of end up just moving it around. It's primer, it's not that big of a deal because it'll flatten out. But it definitely looks patchy as shit right now. And when I airbrush the purple in there, it'll help blend between the two, between the ink and the clear, and then the actual metal parts. It'll help blend in. But right now, I need to get this primer in as close as I possibly can without going over. The price is right. So was that a no to the watching me do supports on the next piece? I think I'm gonna do the Rogue statue next. I'm working on my X-Men cabinet right now. So yeah, I think I'm going to do 1/6 scale Rogue next from Wicked. So hard to see what's going on in this thing. Especially because of all the reflections and transparencies. It's hard to see like what I've done already and what's just bouncing around, what's just light bouncing around. Run out of places to hold. Man, that is way deep. 3 layers down. Tiny buzz. All right. Oh, my desk. Looks like I lost my arm on it. Having my my paint desk at the same level as my elbow rest is way more comfortable. All right, where was I? Oh yeah, I was over here. I go back for those fingers. I'm afraid I'm not going to have a place to hold if I get those fingers done too, or at least until they dry. Trying to get an angle of attack on this thing is next to impossible. In fact, I'm just going to stop right there. I guess I can't because that's kind of exposed. I have to figure out somehow, some way to get down in there. readjust. Keep whacking my head on it. Sorry for all the camera motion here. I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. At the same time, keep whacking my head on the camera. Alright, cool. Just make sure I'm still in focus a little bit. And now we can get back to work. Huh, there's no support in there. Funny. I knew there was going to be a lot, and I knew I was going to be finding them as I go. I still was not prepared for how many there actually have been, though. Ah, fucking nobody's going to see in there. Is that another one? I gotta turn my bright light on. Sorry, guys. Got it. Oh, come on. All right. That light is actually super helpful. Sorry, I know it's probably a little bright for you guys. Alright, I'm back. What's up, Smashing? Ever printed a model off the bamboo, wondering if it's kind of better than the K1 and D3 I'm using? I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm an anycubic guy. Well, so tell me, what are they? Are those FDM printers? Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard of the Creality FDM printers. I know what you're talking about now. I was looking at those for when I was originally looking to get into 3D printing. I started with an FDM printer, and I remember looking at those. Oh no! I'm telling you, I need a buzzer. Water. Got it. I don't see it anymore.
Don't stop.
What? Is my view too close now? I feel like my camera's too close now. That's okay. I need to get better about holding this thing out farther away from my face. I tend to turtle up and like bring everything close to my face when I need to see it. Or just as I'm working, I curl in. I need to stop doing that. I can't see anymore. of primer on that. Needs another coat. Let's get in here and get the details. Alright, I think I need to let all that dry so I can come back to it. See where it needs touching up. Doesn't have to be perfect, because the airbrush is going to cover a lot of it. But anywhere that's going to be highly visible, I want to make sure all that's covered. That spot right there. Am I on? Oh yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna let this dry and come back to it. I need to go run some errands, and I'll be back online hopefully later tonight. Yeah. So I'll catch you next time.